Lecture 2, The Higher Mode of Intelligence Controls the Lower, the Troward Lecture Series, Quantum Theology Edition. I'm your presenter, George Slaughter. The more aware you are, the more power you have. That's not poetry. That's the physics of consciousness. And it's the metaphysics of Thomas Troward. Welcome back to the Troward Lectures, Quantum Theology Edition. I'm George Slaughter, and today we're diving into Lecture 2, The Higher Mode of Intelligence Controls the Lower, Evolution and the Descent of Intelligence. The Troward quote is, "The descent from personality to matter is a gradual descent in the scale of intelligence. From that mode of being, which is able to realize its own willpower, to that mode of being, which is incapable of recognizing itself at all." The Edinburgh Lectures. Troward sets the stage with a gradient, from pure self-aware intelligence to inert form. Not a fall, but a diffusion, a descent of intelligence into density. In physics, this maps on to energy condensation. As energy lowers in frequency, it becomes form. As frequency rises, so does coherence, responsiveness, and awareness. The higher the consciousness, the more influence over the system. Entropy increases as awareness decreases. Consciousness is negentropy. Section 2. The grand order proves grand intelligence. Troward quote, "There is no getting away from the conclusion that a paramount intelligence must be inherent in the life principle which manifests itself as disorder. Science discovers more subtle relationships between systems every year. But that only means that the intelligence behind these systems was already there, waiting to be recognized. The structure of DNA, the fine-tuning of cosmological constants, the precision of quantum entanglement, none of this can be chalked up to randomness. There is a field of coherent intelligence embedding itself in the structure of space-time. This is the quantum logos, the invisible code of order." Section 3. Evolution moves toward the individual. Progress towards higher intelligence is always in the direction of narrowing down the margin of accident and taking the individual more and more out of the law of averages. In the early stages of evolution, the universe operated by mass iteration, huge numbers, huge failure margins. But as intelligence rises, the individual becomes more precise, more protected, more potent. This echoes the transition from classical systems, statistical and chaotic, to quantum systems, responsive, observer-sensitive. In classical biology, the species survives. In quantum metaphysics, the individual becomes a co-creator. Section 4. Volition emerges at the threshold. Troward quote, "The power of individual volition is itself the outcome of the cosmic evolutionary principle, at the point where it reaches its highest level. When the universe evolves to the point where a being can think, choose, and observe, it produces not just an organism, but an operator. In quantum mechanics, observation isn't passive, it's generative. The observer collapses the wave function. Volition is the internal equivalent of quantum measurement. As volition emerges, the cosmos becomes self-steering." Section 5. The Law of Obedience and Mastery. "It is a great maxim that nature obeys us precisely in proportion as we first obey nature." The Edinburgh Lectures. This is the spiritual feedback loop. Obedience to natural law gives rise to mastery through it. You don't override the universe. You resonate with it. You don't break the laws of physics. You align with deeper symmetries. Resonance creates amplification. The deeper your coherence with natural law, the more you access the hidden power within it. Section 6. The Alter Ego and the True Self. The higher degree of self-recognition sees in all other forms not so much the non-ego as the alter ego, that which is itself in a different mode of expression. The Edinburgh Lectures. This is cosmic psychology. The further you evolve, the less you see others as separate. You recognize the field of being expressing itself through diversity. In physics, it's entanglement. In metaphysics, oneness in multiplicity. This isn't theory, it's felt perception for those who've reached higher degrees of self-awareness. The mental scientist recognizes that the true self is the field, and all forms are simply modulations of that self. Section 7, Atomic Intelligence and the Mental Scientist. We may conveniently speak of this primary intelligence, inherent in the very substance of things, as the atomic intelligence. Now, this is 1904, as the atomic intelligence. It is by the response of the atomic intelligence to the individual that thought power is able to produce results on the material plane. The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science. This is where we get practical. Your mind communicates directly with the unconscious intelligence in the field. Every particle is a wave-based probability field, ready to respond to higher order patterning. Thought is formless, directive intelligence. As you become coherent, you influence the informational substrate of matter. This is mental causation. This is how healing, transformation, and manifestation occur. Final section. You are the higher mode. Troward concludes that all intelligence flows from spirit, and spirit evolves forms capable of recognizing itself. That's you. You're not the end of evolution. You're the beginning of conscious evolution. You are the one who can observe, choose, align, and command the atomic intelligence of creation. And the higher your self-awareness, the more lower levels respond to your thought. That's the law, that's the field, and that's the power.